Hello, my name is Marcus T. Anthony. Welcome to today's Mind Futures video. And today I'm going to be talking about a subject very close to my heart, bliss. So what exactly is it to live your bliss? Well, I'm going to say that it's not something that you do. Okay? Now, Joseph Campbell once famously said, follow your bliss or follow your excitement and doors will open for you. Well, he didn't really, as far as I know, he didn't really explain too much about what he really meant by your bliss. The idea, though, is that there's something within us, a calling, and if we listen to the right voice, then we follow it, we go out there, and somehow the universe will magically manifest what we want. Now, actually, I believe very strongly there's some truth to that, but I think we need to clarify a little bit about what bliss really is. And this is a great place to be talking about bliss because right now, I'm in the Gulf of Thailand, and if you don't believe me, you can just look in the mirror up the back here. There you go. Can't see much of that, maybe I'll show you a bit later on. So, bliss is not just simply something that we do. It also involves a state of being, something that you allow yourself to be, in presence. In presence means that no matter what we're doing, we have to allow ourselves to fully embody that thing in the moment, to bring the mind fully into presence. And for example, if you're a soccer player and your dream was to be a soccer player, your bliss is not simply in playing the game of soccer, it's to be present and to let the moment fill you as you play the game, to allow yourself to express yourself fully and creatively within the moment as it unfolds. Now, there's also something else about bliss that's very important to remember, and that is this, that there's at least two different voices in the mind. Actually, the truth is there's multiple voices, but I like to keep it nice and simple. There's the voice of the ego, and there's the voice of spirit. Now, basically, the voice of ego is a trickster. It tries to take us away from our bliss because it takes us away from presence. And it does that by trying to reach for something that's not here. And in doing so, we lose touch with ourselves. And the ego also likes to try to reach for things because, and then reaching for something, it anesthetizes the pain. It tries to cover up the pain that's inside us. And that's an ego game. It's not the voice of spirit. So, how is it then that we can begin to listen to the voice of spirit, or the calling, or the bliss that's within us? Well, the first thing you need to know is that there's information encoded within each of us, and I call this the soul template. The soul template. And this consists of two things. The first thing is the soul aptitudes. Now, these are your particular gifts. They're special skills and abilities that you're given as a soul when you come into this world. And they are a potential. You can develop them potentially. And it's very important that you develop these because it allows you to have a mastery over something within this world. It gives you a foothold into this world. And you're meant to be in this world. You're not meant to be flying off somewhere else or waiting to be whisked away to heaven. Your bliss, your presence is here. So these soul aptitudes are a medium through which you can express your bliss. Now, for different people, it will be different things. For me, it was about writing, about teaching, about teaching about spirit. And that was my bliss. Well, that is my bliss. And as I moved through my life, I listened to those signpost moments which allowed me to tap into that information. For example, when I was 10 years old, my teacher, Mr. Vandenberg, set us the task of writing a story. And I wrote 30 pages. And I was so excited, almost possessed by writing this story. And anyway, I handed it to Mr. Vandenberg the next day, and then he said it was the best thing he'd ever read. So that was a signpost, something that even as a 10-year-old boy allowed me to start to find myself. So that was following my excitement. But some people forget this. Instead of allowing themselves to follow that excitement, they move off, and they listen too much to the voice of ego, or what society expects them, or what family, friends and spouses expect them to do. Now, the second thing you need to know about the soul template something I call soul issues. Now these are the psycho-spiritual components of your consciousness, and they include especially the deeply embedded belief structures, and also the pain or the emotional pain that's embedded within your psyche. And you need to get to grips with what these soul issues are, because if you don't, they control you unconsciously. You cannot be fully present while there's unacknowledged psychological and spiritual issues moving about in your psyche. And this is the most difficult part of the spiritual journey, in my opinion, because we are asked by Spirit to take responsibility for the pain that's within us. For example, as a boy of about 10, I would say, maybe a little bit younger, my mother went off somewhere and left me behind, and that created a great anger in me. I sat down and I cried, and this created a sense of an abandonment within me, and there was the sense that I was not loved fully. Now this is just a very small thing, one of many things that happened in my life. Now for you, your psychological issues, your spiritual issues, could be any number of things. They'll be different from mine. Now, the problem also is that these soul issues, they also stem from previous lives. Okay, so this is also something a little bit hard to grasp, because people live many lives. This is something I've seen for myself through my deep examination of the psyche and spirit. So when you come into this body as a baby, you're already carrying an energy field within yourself, a memory, if you like. And this contains, once again, pain and emotional energy that exists from previous lives. And what you have the capacity to do is to integrate them, to feel them, to acknowledge them, and allow them an expression, and so they don't control your life. In this way, you can become more fully present. If you don't do that, then it's very hard to let your soul aptitudes, your skills and your natural abilities to come through and express themselves joyfully. You can't live your bliss unless you take full responsibility for your soul issues. So, that's where we're going to leave it for today. And just before we do leave, I'm going to show you one more thing. As I mentioned, we are in beautiful Thailand, so I'm just going to show you a little bit about where I am right now. So, come with me. So here we are in my little hotel room. Just moving forward here, there's my little desk and a lovely little sofa they've given me. And just stepping outside, just while my camera adjusts to the glare. Out we come, and as you can see, it's almost sunset. It's getting there. It's late in the afternoon. And you can hear the sounds of birds. And over here there's a few more buildings. Great place to express your bliss. And thanks for watching. That's all for today.